Hey there, good evening, my friends. Welcome here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're now here. This is the sixth episode of Decades. Yep, we've done all 6 decades so far: the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and now the 2010s. And we're going to do my top 10 favorite albums of that decade. So it's, for me, the 90s were kind of the desert era, and then you started to get a little bit of life towards the fringes of the desert in the 2000s. Now you're starting to get a lot more life in the 2010s. And I've picked the 10 albums, although I have only 7 of the 10, which is one of them I would have had yesterday, but I decided the used copy was 18 and the new copy was 19, so I figured, you know what, I'm going to wait and get the new copy. I'll get it next week when I get paid. But for now, we only have 7. So we're going to go in reverse order like we always do. I will give you my 10th favorite to my first favorite, or my least to my most, or my worst to my first, whatever you want to call it. So the number 10 album coming on this list today is Hawkwind's Onward. I like all the Hawkwind albums. This one's a little bit different. It's a little bit darker looking in a lot of ways too. Very kind of dark sounding too, but definitely well within that Hawkwind sound. I like it quite a bit. It's just beginning to start to build on me now. And the only reason it hasn't gone in my playlist yet is because I have 2 other Hawkwind albums that are one on the playlist and one working its way up, so I gotta hold off a bit. So many Hawkwind albums, right? So that's number 10. Number 9 is an album that I like, but it really hasn't lived up to what I was hoping it would be, and it might take a little bit for it to get going. Hasn't been in my playlist yet either, so it's not had that much life to it, which is Styx's The Mission. I do like it though. I started to listen to it quite a bit, and it's moved up over a lot of albums that didn't make the list. So the number 8 album I do not own. I've looked for it, haven't seen it yet, and that's Hell Ripper, Caligula's Horse. I believe that's what it is. No, Caligula's Horse is somebody else's. Sorry. This is Coagulating Darkness. I was thinking of somebody else. So anyways, it's Hell Ripper's Coagulating Darkness. That's number 8. I think this is a pretty strong album. It's an album that I look for. If I see it, it'll probably be on my list to get. Definitely want to have that one. Number 7, by Nectar. This is Time Machine. Not a fantastic album, but still pretty strong. The album cover really is amongst their best, I think. They just have some absolute awesome covers too. Really spacey oriented looking covers. I do like them a lot for that reason. This album coming here at number 7. So number 6 I don't have, but this was one of the ones I seen yesterday. So I made a list of about 4 of them that are brand new at the store, and I'm going to get them alternating. I can't get them all at once because that's quite expensive, so I probably get 1 plus some of the used stuff and then keep doing it until I have them all. But definitely Big Train's Folklore here. I really like this album a lot. The guy's vocals remind me of Peter Gabriel, only to find out that he's died, which really is a bit of a downer for me. The next album up is the one I talked about at the beginning. It's from Opeth, The Sorceress. This is an album that Ben has given me for our ranking the albums, and I just think I didn't like Opeth. Really, I've never followed them, not really, but this album has really opened my eyes to them. So, absolute killer album, I think. So it's going to be number 5. I've listened to it a few times online, and one time somebody had it somewhere I was, and we listened to the entire thing. So, excellent album, I think. So number 5. Number 4, the next 4 I have all of, is Yes's Fly From Here. I know some people don't really like this. Again, I love the cover. Green always catches me. I don't know why. I love green. I think this is a fantastic cover, one of their best. It's got 2 albums in it, like so many of the later Yes albums do. Basically, 1 album plus, then you've got kind of a second album with 3 or 4 songs on it. I believe that's how it works. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, just absolutely killer album. I like it a lot. Probably one of my favorite post-2000 Yes albums. Great album. Next up, number 3, Rush's Clockwork Angels. This one was a bit of an oddball for me for Rush. Because I liked Snakes and Arrows so much, I thought this one would be a shoo-in, but it really didn't do all that well when I first got it. For the longest time, I only listened to it here and there. I was actually playing the Miley Cyrus Breakout album more than this, which tells me how much I didn't like this. Not that I didn't like the Miley Cyrus album, I did, but for that to beat a Rush album, it's got to be pretty. So it just took me a long time, and then all of a sudden it clicked in, and now I like it quite a bit, enough for it to finish 3rd here. The next one is an album I discovered not too long ago. It won our last ranking, the albums, and I bought it based on that. I wanted to have it for the finals, and I've been listening to it, and it is just absolutely great. One of their best albums in decades, and that's Book of Souls from Iron Maiden. Absolutely killer album. I love this cover. Cover's great. Even the inside of the albums, like the disc covers, are fantastic as well. You know, just killer. So yeah, I love this album. It's fastly becoming an album I love a lot. You know, I've only been listening to it for about a month or so, and I already have it in my second of all time for this decade. And then finally, the 2019 release of The Who's self-titled album. This is a killer album. I think for me, it's probably in my top 2 or 3, probably in my 3rd spot for Who albums, which is saying a lot considering how good some of their stuff is. But I just think this is absolutely great album, man. If you haven't had a chance to follow The Who when they were much later, this is their last album and will likely be their final album. Just a absolutely killer album. So I'm going to reiterate them all now for you people who like to keep track of these things. Let's pull them all back up here. So we've got The Who's self-titled album released in 2019. Book of Souls from Iron Maiden as number 2, released in 2015. Rush's Clockwork Angels, 2012. 2112, right? Yes's Fly From Here, 2011. Opeth's Sorceress, I'm not sure what the year was. I know it came out in that decade, but I don't have the year. The same as number 6, Big Big Trains, Folklore. I didn't have the years for either of those. Nectar's Time Machine from 2013. Styx's The Mission. This is from, I missed one. Hell Ripper, Coagulating Darkness, sorry. Drawing a blank. I seem to have a problem with this album today. Anyways, I don't even know what year it was, but I know I like it a lot. Styx's The Mission from 2019. And then finishing off with Onward from Hawkwind in the 10th spot from 2012, I believe. Or maybe it might be 11, but I think it's 12. Let me just check here. It's not going to tell me, is it? Oh, yep, 2012, yep. So, yep, that's my top 10 for the 2010s. The series Decades is now done. Although I'm thinking of doing one more episode. If I do decide to do it, it'll come out next week. It's just going to be my top 5 albums from the 2020s, because we only had 4 years. I'm only going to pick 5 albums from that time. Although, to be honest, this decade is really capturing my imagination. Probably could do 20, but we'll just do the 5 for a half episode. And then me and Ben will have a discussion, and he has some other stuff that he would like to try do. We're going to discuss and find out which thing might fit into the decade slot once it's finished. And it's been a great mini-series. I like it a lot. It really forced me to look at different eras of music that I had. And then, I can see now where my strengths were and where my weaknesses or the lack of interest era was. And so hopefully we'll shore that up as well. Anyways, glad to have you aboard. I hope you liked and like this episode. Please like and subscribe. Put the comments in the comment section and hit the notification bell. Sorry, I seem to be all over the place tonight. I hope you enjoyed this, and we will see you next week when we'll be doing probably the half episode of Decades. So take care and have yourself a good night. Goodbye.